welcome back to Making Finances Sexy with me, Rose Short, aka the Red Queen. Come down the rabbit hole with me. I am a realtor here in the Phoenix Valley, as well as a financial consultant and CEO of Kronika Luxury. It is my mission to help you build multiple income streams, live that dream life, fire your boss if that's what you want, and just really be able to enjoy the life you have. And with me, of course, is the wonderful and talented Miss Jessica 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘.
What's up, everyone? My name's Jessica 𝐒𝐓𝐀𝐘. I'm your rent rave owned realtor and certified instructor with 101 Financial. It's my mission to help you transition from renting to homeownership, no matter your current situation. I'm here to be your personal finance coach and first-time homebuyer specialist.
Yes. And today we're going to dive into a topic that I think a lot of entrepreneurs, especially work from home entrepreneurs, have a problem with that. And that is finding balance in business and family.
Yes, that is a big one for everybody. Just like, and balance is key. That's what brings you peace, is when we can have that balance. And it's never perfect. Like, I find myself having some weeks of everything's great. Like, I'm spending time with Kalani, I'm getting things done in my business. And then I have those weeks where I have so much going on, and then I just want to go crawl up into bed because I'm burnt out and I'm tired.
Yep, and that's kind of the problem with hustle culture, right? Is like we're always told like just hustle harder and hustle 24/7 and all this kind of thing. And like, like most entrepreneurs, I didn't start my business to be hustling all the time. Like I hustle, don't get me wrong, but the end goal is not to be hustling 24/7. The end goal is to be hustling, 10% of my time, and the rest of the time just enjoying it. And that's why we build out automations. That's why we build out systems that work and things like that. And so I think we tend to fall into that, hustle, hustle, hustle trap. And then we start to lose sight of what's around us because we're just focused so much on that.
Yes, and I found myself falling into hustle culture. And yes, I got a lot done personally in my business, but there's an importance to our friends and family. Like, they provide emotional support, which is really crucial for us entrepreneurs. Like, living in the life of an individual doesn't really get you as far than building your community or your group, which I'm just recently learning myself, because I've been working a lot on my own, like individual building, but I'm realizing you kind of hit this plateau unless you build up also the community around you and those relationships.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to like that one coworker you have, right? That gets you through the day, like, go on your lunch break and you vent about work or something like that. It's the same kind of principle. You need that still, even if you're doing your own business, just not necessarily somebody who's physically there with you.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then of course, setting boundaries, right? So if you work from home, like we've talked about this before about maximizing your space. So maybe, put work hours on your office door where your family knows, hey, don't interrupt, or set those boundaries right away. You can lock your door if it's really bad, but have that conversation with your family of just like, hey, just because I'm home doesn't mean that I'm available. And so these hours I'm not available because I'm working on this. These hours I am available. If you can separate your work computer from your personal computer, that helps a lot too. And of course, if you have young kids or, young dogs or anything like that, like there's going to be interruptions. So it's important to keep your cool. But again, if you set those boundaries and your family knows what the boundaries are, it's easier for them to follow.
Yeah, I like that. Communication with your family, friends, kids, whatever. That can remove a lot of guilt if you're feeling guilty about putting in a lot of hours at work and not enough in your personal life. Just open communication can go a long way. I had that scenario with Kalani, so I'll be like on my phone, setting content or texting with somebody that's kind of important, and he'll just, in his mind, he thinks I'm scrolling on TikTok or just not paying attention. And I just have to tell him what I'm doing. And then he, feels a little better about it. I feel a lot better about it. And then I finish what I'm doing and we hang out.
Yep. Yep, and that's where scheduling comes in handy too, right? Like schedule that time to hang out with your family just like you would schedule your work time. Which I know for some people sounds terrible, but you don't have to let your family know you're scheduling in family time if they're gonna take it in a weird way. If that's what works for you, then go ahead and do it. And then of course scheduling in little breaks can help as well. If they're home as well, then maybe schedule a lunch break and have lunch with them, things like that. So there's little things that you can do throughout the day to help mitigate if they're feeling, left out or something like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Involve them in your journey.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, like
So
celebrate achievements together.
yes. Yeah, because so often we get so wrapped up in what we're doing and not explaining what we're doing that we don't really think about the wins either. But you could also, if you're stressed about something, you can potentially still talk to your significant other or, whoever about it to be like, yeah, I'm trying to figure this out for my business and I'm not sure what's going wrong, or I'm trying to do content. I just have no ideas. Like use your family to brainstorm.
Yes, exactly. Back to community instead of that individuality.
Mhm. And then, of course, we talk about this all the time because it's so important, prioritizing self-care and mental health. And this can be prioritizing working out in the morning. This can be prioritizing ice baths at a point during the day. Self-care is not selfish. Like it's essential for us. We can't just grind, grind, grind and never take time off because eventually our bodies will make us take time off. So scheduling in those little breaks and those little self-care sessions are going to help in the long run.
Yes, I love to schedule in my self-care. Once I like by a hair feeling a bit stressed out or like the waterworks about to come, that's when you turn it off. It'll be there tomorrow and go take care of you, because I don't know about you, but I personally just cannot think straight, or, my creativity isn't there when my mind and my body is just exhausted and can't do anything anymore.
Yeah. Or when you feel like you need a win, right? Like there's so many ways that working out or doing a long ice bath or anything like that, like can be small little victories that you need. So, for me, it's my bike. Like if I'm feeling completely overwhelmed and like I'm not doing enough, I'm not smart enough, like it's not happening, I'll go hit my bike and do a hardcore sprint session and then, maybe get a PR. And then I'm like, all right, I've clearly gotten better at this, so I can get better at this. Which sounds really simple, but like those little wins add up. And sometimes we need them without even realizing how bad we need them.
Yeah, no, I like that. Get yourself a little win.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, of course, balance is key. For a lot of people that are not used to being their own boss, like this is where really scheduling out your day comes in handy, and also minimizing distractions, right? So if you just can't be on Instagram without scrolling, maybe do all your content creation in Canva or CapCut on the desktop and then just download them to your phone. Or, leave your phone completely out of the room if you're a mad texter and, are texting personal people over business. There's lots of different ways that you can figure it out. I know, depending on how you identify with how your brain works, some people have to gamify their tasks to get them completed. Other people like to finish the task and have that sense of accomplishment. So whatever's going to work for you, figure out what that is and then plan your day accordingly.
Yeah, scheduling is a great way to get things done. And also don't forget to schedule in that personal time as well.
Yeah.
A problem I used to have is I used to have a ton of work tasks in one day, and also like personal tasks. And I found out like I just had way too much work stuff and I was burning myself out and not really enjoying my personal time. So just really spreading yourself, not too thin, but spreading your tasks more throughout the week, and just play around with it, because you don't know if like what your ideas are will work for you until you try things out, and it's okay if you have to make adjustments as you go.
Yeah, for sure, especially with like the changing of the seasons and whatnot too, right? Like, so maybe you're determined to wake up at 4:30 and go work out, and maybe your body's just not letting you get out of bed until 6. That's fine. Do your workout later. But still get it in. So, don't you should try to create a schedule and stick to it, yes, but if you as absolutely finding that you can't, it's okay to rearrange that schedule and to play with it. Another really helpful tool is the Eisenhower matrix, which I think we've talked about before. I love the Eisenhower matrix so much because it's so underutilized, but it's such a handy tool. And what the Eisenhower matrix basically does is identify what's imperative and important, identify what's imperative and not necessarily important, identify what's important and not imperative, and identify what is neither of those things. And that's how you prioritize your tasks throughout the day or throughout the week or whatever it looks like. Like, maybe you want to do all of your imperative and important tasks on Monday so that by Friday it's stuff that like really isn't important or really doesn't matter. Or maybe you want to schedule it out a little bit. So like you start in the morning with one that's, imperative and important. And then maybe the rest of the day you do the imperative stuff. And then the next day, same theme, but then you move on to the important stuff. It's a really good way to really figure out what tasks are essential and what ones are kind of not necessarily worth your time. And that'll help you schedule that a little bit better too. And don't be afraid to schedule in little blocks, right? So many times people think they need to block out an hour for content creation, and then they look at it and they get overwhelmed. So break it into smaller pieces if you need to, right? Like 5 minutes of content planning, maybe 15 minutes of content scripting. I mean, then 15 more minutes of content filming, and then, however long of editing or something like that. So don't be afraid to break those steps into smaller steps if that's what it takes for you to get them done.
I like that. I didn't know it was called, what is it? Eisenhower.
The Eisenhower matrix.
Eisenhower matrix. I feel like I've been unintentionally doing that. I love to just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like all the more challenging tasks, and then the rest of the week is nice and chillaxed.
Yeah, I talked about it a lot when I was in corporate management, because like I needed my managers to understand it, and even like I've had conversations with engineers who didn't know what it was, and I've explained it to them, and they're like, "Oh my God, that makes so much sense." I'm like, "Yeah." So it's not taught enough, I don't think, but it's a super powerful tool.
Totally. It's great.
So, but that's really about it, guys. I mean, it's not, super complicated stuff. I mean, typically it's not, but finding that balance is imperative, not only for you but also for your family, and then it makes it easier to enjoy vacations and whatnot too. Because as entrepreneurs, as I stated earlier, it feels like we are constantly working. We have to constantly be plugged in. And that's a common theme that I have heard with other entrepreneurs online. And I built my business specifically so I didn't have to be online all the time, because that's not the life I want. So it is possible to be an entrepreneur without having to be plugged in all the time. It's just, it comes down to planning and building the business around your vision.
And patience.
Yes.
I hope you guys share how you balance in the comments or on our social medias, as well as don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and so you don't miss an episode.
And continuing the communication theme, next week, Jess is going to talk to us about building financial trust and how to communicate about money.
Yay.